Boogeyman band coming round the bend. Is Boogeyman band? Is Boogeyman band?
Greetings, my fellow Fright Fiends, and thanks so much for stopping by the Horror Zone channel. I hope everyone's doing well. I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Hadn't planned on really doing a Thanksgiving video this year. In the past, I've done them several times over the last 14 years. Not every year, but every so often I will do one. So what I thought I'd do today is just talk about some of my favorite Thanksgiving films, and not all of them are horror films. But the first one I want to talk about is 1992's Scent of a Woman, of course directed by Martin Brest, who did Beverly Hills Cop, Midnight Run, Meet Joe Black. He's kind of disappeared ever since Geely, which is a shame because I think he's a fantastic filmmaker. I was a huge fan of this film. Fantastic cast: Al Pacino, Chris O'Donnell, the late great Philip Seymour Hoffman, the late great James Rebhorn, Gabrielle Anwar, and Bradley Whitford. And pretty much what the story deals with is a prep school student who needs money, agrees to babysit a blind man, but the job is not all that he anticipated it would be. And Al Pacino actually did win the Best Actor award for this film in the 1993 Oscar ceremony. I've always loved this film just because of the relationship between Charlie and Frank. I identified with the Chris O'Donnell character. I was about the same age as he was when this movie came out. I was 18 when this movie came out, and he's like 17, 18-ish. He's playing a 17-year-old in the film, and he's awkward, and I was an awkward kid. And I remember my mom seeing this film and telling me how great it was. I think she went and saw it with some of her friends or something, but I still remember her talking to me about this film and watching it and just, really just loving it. It was the first time I had ever seen Philip Seymour Hoffman and everything. I so missed that guy. He's a sleazebag in this, but does it so eloquently like he did with all of his work. And I just love the story in this about these two people that come together and they're on completely different spectrums in life and how they form this bond and this friendship. And there are some really emotional moments in it, some very sad moments in it, but there is one big scene in this that takes place on Thanksgiving at Frank's family's house. And it's, I grew up in a household where there was conflict. People got into arguments at the dinner table, and it was kind of something that I really related to, just how it all goes down. And but it's such a sweet movie. Fantastic score by one of my favorite composers of all time, the amazing Thomas Newman. So yeah, absolutely check this film out if you haven't already seen it. Absolutely love Son of a Woman. The next one I want to talk about is Prisoners. I don't know if a lot of people are aware of this film. I think it's one of the best films that Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman have ever done. And I remember I went and saw it with a coworker of mine named Brian Kennedy. He suggested we go see it. I hadn't even planned on going to see it. And if people aren't aware of Prisoners, it's a really gripping drama. And I really had no idea what I was in for when I went to see this with Brian. But I remember we went and had Panda Express. I still remember meeting him there to have Panda Express. And then we went and saw this at the Cinemark. And I was a fan of Jake Gyllenhaal a little bit, mostly from the movie Zodiac. That's my favorite movie of his. This is really tied with that one. And then Hugh Jackman I just was a fan of because he's amazing, and Wolverine and things like that. But he's also a terrific actor, like in movies like The Prestige. But this movie is really gripping and very haunting, and deals with kidnapping. It's got very dark subject matter. Killer Dover is facing every parent's worst nightmare. His 6-year-old daughter Anna is missing, together with her friend Joy, and as minutes turn to hours, panic sets in. The only lead is an RV that has been parked on their street. As well as the amazing Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal, you also have Viola Davis, Melissa Leo, Maria Bello, Terrence Howard, Paul Dano, and the amazing Dylan Minnette. And the beginning of this film is Thanksgiving Day. That's when everything is taking place. But I think this is not only Jake Gyllenhaal's one of his best performances, tied again with Zodiac, one of my favorite movies, but also this, I think this is Hugh Jackman's best performance. He is amazing as Killer Dover. Just this father that is desperate to find his daughter by any means necessary. And it gets dark. It's a very dark film, but again, set at Thanksgiving. It's a film that I've watched many times, and it's directed by Denis Villeneuve. I hope I said that right, but definitely one of my favorite films. And again, Thanksgiving theme. It is dark, but really, really love that film. Next one for me is the film that came out last year, and that is Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. Now, Eli Roth I've always had tremendous respect for, but I haven't liked a lot of his films. I'm not a big fan of the Hostel films, didn't really like Cabin Fever. But when I saw that trailer that he did for Grindhouse for Thanksgiving with the main adversary of John Carver, that twisted B-movie-ish film, I really wanted to see that version of Thanksgiving. That's the one I really wanted to see. Now, we got more of a straightforward Scream style. In Eli Roth, you know, in terms of his vision, it is a very gory film, but it's more glossy and it's more, you know, contemporary. And I really wanted to see that vision that he had for that Grindhouse trailer, which we didn't get. But I'm very happy with this film, and I love the John Carver character. Love that Patrick Dempsey is in it because I'm a huge fan of him. I've always been a fan of Patrick Dempsey. I'll watch him in anything. Gina Gershon has a small part in it. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. I thought the young cast was great, and there's some great kills in it. It's got some dark moments, but in the end, I had so much fun, and I cannot wait for Thanksgiving Part 2, which hopefully is going to come out next year. And if you can tell by the shirt I'm wearing, my favorite Thanksgiving film, which is pretty much, I think, everybody's favorite Thanksgiving film. I'm sure there are people that don't like it. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles has been a staple for me, much like A Christmas Story and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. For everybody that talks about their favorite Christmas movies, I've been a fan of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles since the late 80s. I remember buying it from my grandfather in 1989 at Suncoast Video. I bought him a copy of it on VHS because he liked it. And I was already a fan of John Candy. Steve Martin, not so much. I had seen Steve Martin in a few things, but this was the movie that really made, you know, I had seen him in like Roxanne, Little Shop of Horrors. I saw The Jerk when I was way too young to see that movie. But this was the film, and back in 2020, I did a video about my grandfather, and that this was the film we bonded on. You know, and that was, you know, my grandfather didn't like a lot of movies like I did. He didn't like anything that was fictitious, which was strange. In terms of like, if it couldn't really happen, he wasn't really interested in it. So even though this has very, like a lot of stuff in this couldn't really happen, but it was still sort of set in reality, and that was what he was drawn to. And he also loved Steve Martin and John Candy, and this is still just, like I said, it's a masterpiece. It's a classic. It's something that I will watch every year. I always watch it the day before Thanksgiving. I always watch it the day after. I usually don't watch it many other times during the year. It's just sort of special for this time of year. This is when I watch it. This is when I, you know, go back into this amazing film, my favorite John Hughes film of all time. And I still so miss him, and especially John Candy, who I'm still saddened by the fact that he's been gone for so long. 30 years ago this past March he passed away, and I so enjoy watching this film every year. It's the best. It's my favorite. It always will be. And the last thing I'm gonna showcase real quick, I did show it on my Instagram page, was this amazing Funko set that just came out of Del and Neil. Sorry, get it out of the glare there, but yeah, this was something I had to pick up, and I haven't been buying a lot lately, but I had to make an exception for this one. But two of my favorite characters, two of my favorite actors, and my favorite Thanksgiving movie of all time. So I'm curious, what's your favorite Thanksgiving movie? I'm sure a lot of people are going to say Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, but is it some of the other ones I've talked about? Is it something I haven't mentioned? Leave me your picks for favorite Thanksgiving movie down in the comment section below. Would love to hear from everyone. And I want to thank everyone who has supported this channel, supported my GoFundMe. I'm thankful for all of you guys for keeping this going, for making this a terrific outlet for me, especially in times of stress, which I've had quite a few of this year. But yes, I'm so grateful for all of you. I hope everyone has a great and happy holiday, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always. Peace. Hey, my fellow Fright Fiends, I just want to thank everyone for supporting Boogeyman Ben's Horror Zone. If you haven't yet subscribed and you'd like to, please hit the subscribe button down below. Click the bell notification so you're updated every time I drop a new video. I try to drop a video at least once or twice a week. The Horror Zone is a passion of mine, and it really makes me happy that I can share that passion with all of you guys. Thanks so much again for the support, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Take it easy. Stay scared as always. Peace.